When the artists, they have struggles and they have sadness, but please just don't forget that maybe a fan just survived a day because of your smile. So I think that's what they did is so significant, so impactful.
It's because many of their songs are bringing out message or their stories. Like Tomorrow, the song I love really much. The night before sunrise is very dark, but like there would definitely be sunrise in the next day. So they really accompanied us to go through all the downs in our life.
BTS has a really big influence, so if they speak out, that will have a huge impact. But personally, I don't want like BTS to be used in a political way.
But for ARMY, I feel like there's no age gap. Like my mom is an ARMY as well. We always watch their YouTube videos together. Like
the greatest achievement of an idol isn't about how many awards they have received, but about like how many lonely nights of a fans they have healed.
When did you first fall in love with BTS? Well, that might be the wrong word, but when did you develop an affection for BTS? When did you decide, man, this is a cool group? What was it for you? When was the moment? What was the song? What was the video?
It was about 2016, exact time that I was about to enter the high school. So I was watching their music video, maybe the YouTube video, and then there's a saying in like K-pop industry that like you don't get to choose the one who you like, they choose you. So I was watching the video and they say, from now on, I'm your bias. Like, so that's how I get into them. Yeah, and I was really into them during the high school year.
Was it common in your high school? Were you the only one, or was it like your whole year was into them?
It was wasn't the time that was going really popular, so I was the one who was really into them. Okay. And my friend didn't expect that BTS will go this big. So I'm kind of proud of that.
I think I become their fans in similar time as you. I'm in the end of 2015 to the start of 2016. But the first time I get to know them is in 2015 Mama. And that was the first time. But that time I've not yet fallen in love with them. But like after, like during Mama, I've learned the songs of them and I started to look at their stage. So like it's a period of time that I fall in love with them.
And while Celine was in Korea, you were in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
What was it like in Hong Kong? Were they big there, or was it?
I think at that time, like K-pop is already kind of popular in Hong Kong. Like everyone will pay attention to them, or at least know some of the groups. And that time, BTS is kind of already growing their popularity in Hong Kong. So that's also one of the reasons why I started to know them.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more because like in 2016, because we have like Christmas party like in secondary school, and I saw like every class they played their music video, especially the one like Mama 2016, the fire, the dance. But sadly at that time I wasn't really into them, so I start much later than you guys. I maybe start from 2019, I guess, because at that time, you know, the pandemic started and everyone is so anxious because of you're scared of being infected. At the same time, like I need to face the examination, the DSC, which is the university entrance exam. So I was just so stressed, and I feel like I need something to get attached with. So I just one day I remember I randomly searched some interesting videos just to editing myself because I was so stressed during the papers, and all of a sudden it like pop up a BTS video which was like Boy With Love, the MV, and I saw the views like wow, billions of views, and I was so interested, and I just click in and oh no. And that like they danced, their music, their smiling faces, so I became like really attached to them. So I continued to search more video, and then that's how I became an ARMY. Yeah.
I would say it's also 2016 for me. With my best friend, we were really into K-dramas, and then we got into K-pop, and I fall in love maybe with Dope. I love that song, and everyone like I showed you a K-pop song is always Dope because it's a really good song. I don't know. I just choose BTS because they're really talented.
Is there like a competition about when you got into BTS? Is there like OGs or BTS hipsters? Is that a thing or not? Or it doesn't matter when you got into them?
Kind of for me.
How does that work? What is that? How does it work?
I mean, if you know them for so long, maybe I feel like for a new fan, it's just it's popular and stuff. I mean, that's my opinion though. But, and if you're like OG fan, then you really like them for who they are. Not for their popularity.
Yeah, I agree with that because like when they're growing their popularity, then more people like just say that they like BTS, but maybe just because they are popular and they look good or something like that. But I think like the older fans will have more deep understanding towards the whole story or how they grow. But like, although like some of the new fans also get to know all the details at last, but like there are still part of them just ignore all their growing process and just like their phase or like something like that.
Yeah, I think fans definitely have a pride because there's a particular vibe that BTS has in 2015 and 16. They were having a tough time. They were going through it with all those fans. So I think it really means a lot to BTS and also ARMY. Yeah.
They debuted 2013, around there, I think.
Yeah.
I would guess that their 2013 is very different from their 2024 appearance, their vibe. They've gone through various stages and things like that. How would you describe their evolution, their growth? Do you put it into certain album periods? How could you describe it to me?
I think there is 3 stages. Like the first stage is like maybe from their debut to before Young Forever. Like that period, they are very hip hop style and with like soul, like they make up in that
Hairstyle.
yeah, their style. And like in Young Forever to maybe Boy With Love, I think this is really the signature of K-pop for me. Like everything is the best, I think. But like after Boy With Love, they started to go to the American market or like to start to become more westernized. So like I think it's the new stage and maybe now it's also coming to a brand new stage. But yeah.
Yeah, I think she's right because like it becomes softer and like at the beginning, like I was listening to No More Dream and it was so, I don't know what to say, like badass. And now they're just kind of softy, cutie, you know. But we do like them also now. It's just, I feel like there's 2 different style between.
Yeah, I agree. There are like 3 stages, like from the hip hop and then the period of K-pop songs, which I really like, and then I think they are westernized, and because their song you can see like there are more English lyrics being included in their songs, like Dynamite, Butter, But I feel like they are like changing their targets, like target audience, like from the very first stage, like the hip hop stage, maybe they are trying to focus on like maybe Korean audience or even like Chinese audience, but I think because of some reasons they because of maybe political reasons, so maybe it's hard for them to really go into Chinese market. So I think they change a bit and then they modify it and then they start to focus more on the Western market. So yeah.
That's really interesting because I won't speak for too long on this, but obviously they started very hip-hop oriented and Big Bang used to do that really well. Like Big Bang were really big here, the second generation, that hip-hop, that b-boy, that tough guy image. But the Chinese ban on Hallyu products, that was around 2016, I believe. So South Korea installed some THAAD missile defense. And it was all geopolitical. And then China got really angry. They were like, right, no more K-pop and no more K-dramas in our country. And I didn't know that might have had an effect on BTS or on BTS's trajectory in changing audiences. Is that something that's talked about? That's quite interesting. I never imagined that would have been the case.
Because like before in Boy in Love, they have the Chinese version. So like I think that time they really like maybe they are not only targeting the Chinese audience, but maybe the Asian countries, like they want to expand their market in the whole Asian. But like after some time, they already like you no longer see them active in the Chinese or like that active in the Asian countries. So I think like maybe it turns to targeting the Western part.
Is Boy With Love the one they did with Halsey? That this like this.
Yes.
That's that one. Okay, sorry for my singing. I'm just trying to get into.
The Chinese version is Boy in Love.
Oh, Boy in Love. That's where I'm getting confused. There's a Boy in Love and a Boy with Love.
The older one.
Is the older one?
Yeah.
Okay. Because they did lots of stuff in Japanese as well.
Yeah.
Lots of Japanese. Have you heard any of? What do they sound like in Japanese? Did you get into that side of it?
The melodies are pretty similar, but the lyrics are kind of different. And at the time that I was really into them, they were more focusing on the Japanese like industry than Chinese. So I think the political thing definitely impacted.
Yeah.
Wow. I never knew that politics was such a big thing. I didn't. I never would have thought of that.
Yeah, I think that influenced a lot because I heard that before they held concert in China before, like in Beijing and Guangzhou, but eventually, like of course, influenced by political issue and the decision by the government maybe. So, and I heard that Suga once said about something about Chinese activities in China in his life, and he said that he actually wanted to go to China to have concert to meet the Chinese fans there because there have many fans in Weibo, which is the one of the social media platform in China. So they have like 5 million of fans. I think that's a huge number. Yeah, but he said that he didn't really mention the reasons behind, but he just said that the Korean artists, they just cannot enter the Chinese market. But he really wanted to go, and he loved Chinese food there. So it's a pity, but I think that Chinese fans, they have their way to get access to their music. Yeah, maybe through other platforms. Yeah.
Do any of the members speak Chinese or Japanese? Obviously, RM seems to do the English. Do any of the members do they speak Chinese?
A lot of members speak English and Japanese, but I don't think.
I'm not sure for the Chinese.
I'm not sure.
I don't think they know Chinese.
Okay.
Yeah.
They just know the greetings.
Yeah.
Chinese is hard. Isn't it? What makes them stand out? This is a really ridiculous question. I want to ask about the members, but there's been so many groups, right? And somebody said to me, David, why aren't you doing EXO? Why are you doing BTS? Well, because that's what we're doing. But BTS have achieved a level of fame and popularity and success that few others have, right? It's undeniable what they achieved. What does BTS do right? What qualities do they have? What makes them stand out and be able to get this success that few others did? What is it? What's the magic dust?
I think they're just really talented, and maybe it's just the right time and the right moment also, because I mean K-pop was there for a long time, but okay, they're talented, but maybe it's just all of a sudden like all the attention go to Korea, so maybe that's just the moment.
I think there are several reasons. Maybe that's just the reason that makes me fall in love, but I think like the general
In love
way
or
also-
with love?
I think the general also agrees. Like the first reason is because like I think they start from a very small company. Like I think at the time there are 3 big companies like YG, SM, and JYP. But like BTS is really start from a very not popular and small company. But like because they work very very hard, so like the process everyone can like see them how they grow from like the very small one. So I think this is one of the reasons why people like, because they are really working very hard to achieve their dreams. And the second reason I think like is because many of their songs are bringing out message or their stories. Like Tomorrow, the song I love really much. They have say like the night before sunrise is very dark, but like there would definitely be sunrise in the next day. So like I think this kind of messages really like make us feel very I don't know how to say, like they really accompanied us to go through all the downs in our life.
They give a lot of hope.
Yeah.
That's quite interesting. Do you have favourite lyric? Is there a message or is there a lyric or something like that? Something to think about, right? Kit, any ideas what makes BTS so popular? What's so talented? What is it about them?
First of all, I think they really work really hard. Like they're talented. They write songs, produce songs like on their own. And I think another point is that they really treat their fans like a different way, because they every time when you see they receive the awards like Mama or like any other awards, and you can hear that the first thing they mention is not about the companies. They're not thanking the companies, but they are like Jean, you have the award and say ARMY, and then you can really feel the love, their love. And I think as a ARMY, I feel valuable. I feel like so connected to them.
Does one of them have ARMY tattooed on their hands? Or am I misremembering?
JK.
Okay.
Jungkook.
Okay. I'm trying to remember. I'm sure I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think their journey has a really meaningful story, and they have their own identity, which leads to the empathy. So their lyrics, their song, and their message they're trying to give to the fans are about like, we're walking with you, and about empathy. And when I was in high school, I was going through all the stresses, and the lyrics really made me go through it. So I think that's what's special about BTS. Yeah, and definitely the way they use the socials, like Twitter and everything. Their own contents was really big.
Tell me about the socials.
So they use the Twitter really wisely. They tried to communicate with fans a lot in like 2015 since the debut, which another groups wasn't doing. And they had their own like video contents called like 달려라 방탄. So they uploaded like every week, which makes like fans really like leave their week for that. So I think the marketing was really wise and focusing on the fans. Yeah, that's how they get to like all over the world.
That's amazing. I like the idea that there's an underdog story to it, that it doesn't come out of sort of JYP or YG, that it comes out from a smaller entertainment company and it's made by the fans, or that, you know, a lot of the success is due to the fans. I think that's a really cool story. We like to see the underdog, or we like to see the smaller ones rise up and do that challenge. That's really cool. We'll talk about ARMY in a minute. Can we talk about, before we talk about the members maybe and their personality, no, let's talk about the members and personality first. That's more polite, because I wanted to talk about the visual aspect, because nobody mentioned that. And that's a thing, right? Visuals in K-pop. You all said, I like their message. That was like, they're hot.
I mean, for me, I like, okay, the songs are really great, but I didn't really focus that much on the lyrics, but more on like how it sounded for me. It can be silly because I know that the lyrics are really strong, but I just like love the way the music sound, I guess.
It's good if you like it. That's the most important thing. 7 members, and I wish I'd brought the photo cards with me here. Tell me, can you break down some of the members, their personalities and things like that? Or how do we talk about them? And how would you describe any of them? And do you have a favourite, or did it change? I know that's a really weird question, but, you know, tell me about the members of BTS. How do we do that?
I mean, we can start by maybe the leader and...
Okay.
Or maybe,
is there a full
or maybe
order?
no, maybe like the older, like Jin and
okay.
going...
Yeah, they have an order of like the fan chat.
Yeah.
Like the way the fans
yeah, that's
call
true,
their
that's
name.
true.
Okay.
Yeah, so we can go with that, starting with like Namjoon, like RM.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's the leader of BTS. Definitely smart, and he produced almost every songs of BTS. Really talented.
But I
And-
think it's sometimes, is it called clumsy? Like he always break the things. Like,
Oh yeah, right.
Okay.
Like there are a like combination. Like people made the video about like what things he have break. Like when there is one like their program, like in the indoor, he was walking with the slippers and suddenly the slippers like have broken.
So he even breaks slippers. That's
Yeah.
how clumsy this guy is. Okay.
And or shall we move to talk about Jin?
Yeah.
Let me just say something
Oh,
about
okay.
Namjoon, because I know him for being big into art, for having like a kind of deep voice.
Yeah.
He did one of his recent solo songs was called Groin, and it gave me lots of like English boob vibes. I was saying that, but I actually use, you will have noticed if you've been in my classes, I actually use a quote from Namjoon in my class, and normally when I bring it up on the screen, I can see like students and ARMY like start taking photos of it. They're like, wow, look, Namjoon is in our class, there's RM. And I just want to say this is what RM said in an interview with El Paz, the Spanish magazine, because I love this quote, and I just want to make sure we put it next to him. The Spanish newspaper asked RM, the worship of youth, of perfection, of overstraining are these Korean cultural traits. They were trying to get RM to talk about the dark side of Korean society. And this is how he answered, and I'll read the full quote because it's brilliant. He said, people in the West just don't get it. Korea is a country that has been invaded, devastated, and torn in two. Just 70 years ago, there was nothing. We were getting help from the IMF and the UN, but now the whole world is looking at Korea. How is that possible? How did that happen? Because people are working fucking hard to improve themselves. You're in France or in the UK, countries that have been colonizing others for centuries, and you come to me with, oh God, you put so much pressure on yourselves. Life in Korea is stressful. Well, yes, that's how you get things done. I think that sums up Korea's modernization and its growth and everything about Korea so well. And I use that in my lectures beyond anything about K-pop. I think that's a brilliant distillation from RM of Korean history. Celine, what do you think of that? Like, is
That's
it
like such a slay.
it's a mic drop moment, is it?
Yes, it was an eye-opening answer to me, even though I'm a Korean. I think he's the celebrity who uses his like positive influence like in the most wise way. Like he uses his influence in a really good way, and the way to tell people about Korea and speak out about K-pop industry and also Korea. So I think that's his biggest role. And I really like the way he think about the world, how he treats his fans and all the like music industry. And I try to learn a lot about his perspective because he really studies a lot. He keeps studies about art, music, and every history. So I think, yeah, he's a really like talented person.
Yeah, he's a great leader. Though.
Yeah.
Like he really, I don't know if we can say like this, like hold the group, and like it's so powerful, and even during the speeches, like it's really strong, you know.
Yeah. And I think like his words is very powerful. Like I love his speech in UNICEF so much. Like he say, I remember like one, maybe I can quote from him. Like he say, maybe we'll make a mistake yesterday, but yesterday's me is still me. Like tomorrow maybe we'll be a tiny bit wiser, and that would be me too. Like these faults and mistakes are what I am and make up the brightest star in the constellation of our life. And I think this is a very good sentence. Like maybe in our lives or in many of us, we will think like mistakes is something bad, but like he just told us it's okay to have mistakes, and like it will make you become better.
Yeah, I agree. Like his response to questions is like really amazing. It's like I remember like once in the in an event or like like someone asked him about like BTS nowadays it's so successful. So what do you think of yourself? So how do you like be grounded? I don't know the word, like because they're so famous, and how do you think of yourself? And then I think the way he answered is just so like so good. And then I think he answered the question like using a mathematics way. Like for example, if there's like a trophy and there's 100% of success, then he will put like 50% to the armies, and then like 15% to the companies, the big key companies, and then the rest of the percentage will be 35. And then you divide it by 7, which means each member they deserve like 5%. So when you look at the whole structure and then it divided in that way, I think it's interesting. And well, you can see like that's the way he like stick to the ground, and he think that the success like is not just by himself, but like it's combined with the fan support and also the company. So I think that's he's a wise man. Yeah.
He reads books, he swears. I kind of like it that he swears because it humanizes him and it shows a real aspect to him. I'm not saying that we should all swear to be liked, but I think that's quite interesting that he does that. He's not the oldest, but he's the leader.
Yeah.
That's kind of is that normally a thing in K-pop groups? I would always imagine that the leader is the eldest.
I think the reason that he's the leader is because BTS was made because of him.
Okay.
Like he was in the center, and like the producer wanted to make a group starting with him, so that's how it all started. And like the maknae of the group, the youngest, Jungkook always used to say that he really respects like RM. He wants to like be like him since he was young. So I think that's the reason why he's a leader.
And also because you speak really good English, like compared to the other members, it really helps a lot, especially now that they are really popular around the world. Like, if you take another member, I mean, I love them, but their English is not that strong compared to him. So, I guess it also makes some characteristic.
Do you know how he learned English? Did he?
Yeah, I think it's Friends.
Friends.
Yeah,
okay.
I love that. Because I also learned with Friends. I'm like, it's the same,
That's amazing. So there's a fan chant. You said.
Yeah.
So go through. We've done RM. I think we've really put some respect on his name there. I think he's good, right? Tell me about the others, or how do we go through this phase?
The next one should be Jin, and I think like he's like if you just like normally see him, he's just like a child. I think like he loves playing around with the maknaes, but I think he have his warmth. Like although he is very like funny, but I think like he tried to hide his warmth inside. Like when Hoseok came out from the military, and there is a woman reporter taking the mic for J-Hope like to interview him, and like Jin just dressed up very funny and like walk and take the mic. So he just like staying at the ground and taking the mic. And like I think it's like although for many of us we may think it's very funny for him to do that, but I think like he has his warmth inside is because like he know if like the woman reporter take the mic, then like definitely all the news will have the woman's face, and also it's very tiring to hold the mic, so he just like go for that, and I think it is something that I really appreciate.
Yeah, the best thing I like about Jin is that even though he's the oldest, he really respects the leader, and he knows the job of the leader, but he's always there as a Batyong, as the oldest, and so he does his job, but he also respects all other like leader or the 동생들. So he doesn't have I don't know what to say, but he doesn't have a really like 쓸데없는 자존심. Yeah, he doesn't do that, and people say that that's why the team goes really well.
How old is Jin roughly? Myungyeon?
It's
roughly what year
1992.
1992. Okay, so he's basically 30 or something.
Yeah,
I think it's like 31, 32. I mean,
Yeah.
Korean age, I don't know, but
Okay.
But yeah, he's really childish even though he's the oldest. And I just saw recently some reels about, I think it was a TV show where you asked two people, who's your favorite from BTS? And people say, Jungkook, and it's like, no. It gets so mad, But like, it's in a funny way.
I think the most childish one is like he have the life with Ji Jin Jung, like Jimin, Jungkook, and Jin, and like they just argue every time. Like the whole life is about how they argue, but it's very funny.
Who's next?
Oh, yeah.
Help me with this. I can name them all, but I don't know the order.
I don't know.
Sugar.
Yeah.
Next one.
Can I say something about Sugar? I think I wrote it down here,
Oh.
but it was when I first heard Sugar's like, I don't know how you pronounce it, August D?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Solo stuff, and I heard like, 어떻게 생각해? What's it called?
Okay.
It's called What Do You Think? What do you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah.
And he's like, I got a fucking Grammy, I got a Billboard, I fly first class, what the fuck do you think about that? I was like, this is the guy with pink hair from BTS. Like, what? It was a big moment of cognitive dissonance where I realized, there's a lot about this that I don't realize. It was showing me what I didn't know from the mixtapes and the solo stuff, that there was more beyond the idol presentation, and it was Sugar's solo stuff that showed me beyond the idol stuff. That's what I'm just trying to say about that. That was interesting for me.
Like
Right.
he's pretty calm in the group, I would say, but in the solo stuff, he really affirms himself, and it's so badass. Really.
It's gangster rap or something.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very swag. It's very check me out. Yeah. I didn't expect it.
Personally, I like his solo songs, but like usually the main titles are like they have some swearings, some bad words, and like that. But another songs is about like Sugar's life and his life story, all the like up and downs, and I think like August D is about Sugar's another ego. Like he's doing the thing that he can't do in the group, so he does like whatever he wants. So I think that's a good way to like express everything about music. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like his lyrics are really direct, like just like but I think that he just want to like without the darker side of him, like his stories he want to, but I think there are messages behind, like for the song like The Last, that song, like he went through depression, injuries of his shoulder, and I think that that's deep, and he's now like recovered from that, and I'm glad that he did, and I think that and it's his style of the music, but I think I like them.
Yeah, I went to his recent solo concert. It was in 2023 summer, and his recent album and the whole theme of the concert tells that now I'm fine. Like he was like dark inside, he was going through it, but now finally I'm getting over it. Like, and he, the concept of the concert is like opening the door and he gets out of the door, which means like a lot. So I really like the concert and like his story.
Actually, my bias in BTS is Taehyung, but Suga is the first person ever in the world that I feel truly respect to. Like, I think like all his songs, although like you have mentioned many swear words, but I think it's really talking about who is he. Like, and I think like the newest album, there are Amygdala and...
Did he do Fire, or am I thinking of someone else?
Oh?
Did Suga do Fire, or was that a different...
Fire?
Was there a song called Fire? Okay,
I mean, BTS has a song called
Yeah.
Fire,
Yeah.
but not. I don't think
He
Suga
produced
alone.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just think like he's very talented to make his own song, and at the same time he really have a rough past, I would say. Like I remember at the first time I get to know him, I have heard his story, like in his past he don't have enough money for the instrument, but he just worked really really hard just because he wanted to make music, and he just buy all the instruments and get to know all the music stuff, and I think it's really worth to respect.
How did you... I'm going to get in trouble for asking, but Suga's been in the news a little bit here in Korea recently. How was that then? For somebody that you really respect and he's going through all his own things, did you feel that was a media attack, or that was just something? I mean, how do we respond to that?
Actually, I think it's no doubt that he has done something wrong. Like, although the action itself, whether you think it's wrong or not, but it is not allowed in Korean, like the laws, right? So I think
driving a scooter, electronic scooter, while being drunk.
Yeah, I think it's not legal in Korea, so I think it's definitely wrong. But I think for me, like BTS is just like my family. Like if someone in your family have done something wrong, then like you will feel disappointed or you will feel sad, but you will still accompany him. Yeah, so I think I will still be like next to him, but I know this time is his fault.
We all make mistakes.
Yeah.
yeah. RM, Jin, Suga.
J-Hope.
He's the dancer.
Yeah.
Kit, tell us something about J-Hope.
Yeah, he is my bias.
Oh, that's actually spot on, isn't it? I just saw your eyes light up.
J-Hope. Actually, first of all, like he danced really, really well, and he raps, he dances, he produces songs. He's just so talented, but the thing why I like him the most is that like I like his vibes. Like whenever I saw the interviews, like the Jimmy Fallon, the Tonight Show, or other interviews, and you can really like see him try to say some funny stuff or to did some funny moves, and I think he's vibing and it's really a cool guy. Yeah, but I think that like everyone see him as a hope. Because he always said that like I'm your hope, you're my hope, I'm J-Hope, and I think yes, and I feel like behind that, I don't know how to describe that. Just he has his dark side, especially when you take a look at his like solo album, like the song like Arson, What If, and you can really see that like because now BTS is so-called maybe successful in the Western industry, and then he now has money, fame, and a lot of things, but like he started to doubt himself. Like, is it the real him? Is it the real J-Hope? Or is he just putting a mask on, try to be people's hope, try to be just try to show a bright side of him. So now, and he has that doubt. But I think that like nobody's perfect. I think that he start to accepting every side of himself. Like we all have mistakes, we all have regrets. But I think every moment, everything just part of you. So you have to like let go of them and really to find your true self. So I'm really glad that he actually like find the truth and start to really do not be like bounded by the hope labels, just being himself. I think that's great.
It's really interesting to me that there's a mental health or there's an existential aspect to all of these stories. It's like you're telling me about you like this member because the way they deal with depression, you like this member because how they dealt with stuff and they were walking through a door, and you like this member because of the way they compose themselves when they're giving speeches. It's something about it tells me two things perhaps. One is that it's something about more than the music, and there's a deep connection or understanding of the people behind the facade that we might only see if we watch the music video. That beyond that, there's an understanding of their personality, their character, the way they use humor, the way they break things, the struggles that they've gone through. I think that's really interesting, that there is this huge, deep understanding that people from the outside won't even have any idea of.
Yeah.
Do we go to the next one? Yeah. Okay. Help me, guys. Come on.
The next one is Jimin.
Okay.
He's just an angel. And a mochi.
An emoji.
Mochi.
Like
Mochi, the Japanese snack, you know,
Yeah.
the mochi.
I don't know the emoji.
Oh, like the chewy.
You're
kind
really
of
happy
rice.
that you know something. You're like, yes.
Like rice. Oh, I would say with rice.
It's like a-
like
It's rice cake?
Rice cake.
Yeah, like a
maybe?
sticky rice cake.
Okay.
Yeah.
It means that he's really cute.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think there are a lot of like Jimin fans in Western side. He has a really big fan.
Yeah. I feel like the whole youngest one have a huge like fan base in like
Right.
Europe and like maybe compared to the older one. I'm not sure of it, but I feel like
Do you have a bias?
yeah.
Have we already been past them, or are they still waiting to come?
It used to be Jungkook,
Okay.
but growing up I would say more Aram.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's so powerful. I love it.
Same.
But Jungkook for his looks when I was younger, definitely.
He's still really. Are we on to Jungkook next? Is
No.
that-
Jimin and V.
V's
After Jungkook
okay.
is the youngest.
V's been on Korean television, didn't he? Do like the kitchen show? or
Yeah,
the
he was
cooking
in
show?
the Yun Shikdang.
Oh, Yun Shik-dang.
Yeah, right.
Can you say anything about that? Like his television appearance? What's he like on that? Because I saw him a little bit. But
I really enjoyed the show.
Yeah.
I really liked them being on a TV show individually, just showing their own personality. Because if they're in a team, there's like limit to show like all of themselves. So I like them being on a like TV show, reality shows. Yeah, so I really enjoyed the show.
But I think like V have changed somehow throughout his whole career. Like I don't know, it is my estimation or he really changes. But before I think he loved to show every part of him to ARMY. Like even though he playing with his cousins or like everything about him, he will also show to us. But like I remember in the third master, he have said that like his grandma passed away, but his grandma was really very meaningful to him. And I think I don't know, but I feel like gradually when he grows up, he know like the society have many dark side, so he also tried to like cover some of his side. So I feel like before he is just simply maybe so playful or like sharing every happy moments or everything, but now I feel like he's not like that happy than before. But maybe it's also because he become mature. Yeah, so I think he kind of have some of the changes, but I still love him so much.
we all go through some stuff. He's been through some stuff, obviously.
Yeah.
And I guess they will all change in different ways. Some open up, some close down. So that brings us to Jungkook. And I remember when somebody told me We right? We're on Jungkook now?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I just don't want to get in trouble, right? You cut in, right? But I remember when Seven came out, and my daughter likes listening to K-pop, and she does K-pop dance and things like this, and Queen
Cute.
Card and Klaxon and all this, right? So we're listening to a lot of K-pop in the car, and I heard, oh, Jungkook's got a new song, Seven. So I put it on the stereo, and I listened to it for about 10 seconds. I said, my daughter, you cannot listen to this. I turned it quickly off because it was the dirty version. And, he's a handsome chap.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know, that's my impression of him. It's not just about his sexy lyrics or his looks. Tell me something about Jungkook.
Seven was the really successful debut in American industry.
Yeah.
The concept was he was debuting solo on like America again, and he definitely has a sexy, like a guy concept. I think that shows in his music, his dance, and everything. And I think that really worked in the Western side. And the songs were good.
From the Korean side?
It didn't work in Korea?
It did.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I mean, because he was targeting mostly in Western.
Yeah.
Because all the lyrics were English, but I think the song was really good. I really liked it, and yeah, it was a challenge maybe to him, but I think it was successful. He really suits it really well.
There's an interesting aspect about what's popular overseas, what's popular in Korea, and things like that. Jungkook, any thoughts on him? I'm trying to learn something here.
I don't know.
No?
Honestly, I learned so much things about them when I was younger. Like, I used to go on so much website and searching for facts about them just to know them better. And I forgot everything.
I once learned that the name Sugar comes from his position in basketball, which was shooting guard. There you go. There's something that I learned. What's V? Why is VV? Is there a reason for V as being V? It's just a letter, isn't it?
Yeah, I never thought about it.
Okay, somebody would tell me or shout out. or somebody like that. Can we talk about this aspect of mental health? I know this is a bit dark and maybe you don't want to talk about it, but you've talked about the struggles and the changes that all the members went through. And you also said that maybe some of you got into BTS when you were going through high school, or you're going through the entrance exams for university, all of these things. So how does BTS have a positive impact on mental health and personality and growth and feeling seen or community? Because sometimes we're only talking about the music, or we're talking about the numbers, like 1 billion views, or we're talking about the visuals or something. But what I get when I talk to people like K-pop fans, it's like this had a really transformative effect on their life, like religious almost. It's almost like finding God or finding religion, and it helps people get through things with community. Can you say something about how your relationship with BTS or the members or K-pop more broadly affected you in that way?
I think I want to talk about the album called Love Yourself. So Love Yourself, Her is one of my favorite albums, and the message that they want to say is just try to love yourself. That's all that matters. And when RM was on in UN presenting about the youth, he was talking about loving yourself, and I think that really directly connects to the mental health. And nowadays, they try to talk about mental health in their songs too, which I really like, because they know that they have a really big influence and they know how to use it. So I think it's really helpful, and I like the way that they talk about it.
Did it help you?
Yeah.
Did it have an impact on your life in any way, or?
Definitely, yeah. The lyrics, definitely. I really focus on the lyrics when I listen to their music, and I can. When I listen to their music, I think that they're also a same normal people, and they're they have a same problem or the hardship going on. So that's how we get connected. So
That's nice.
yeah, it definitely impacted me.
I've heard a sentence before, the greatest achievement of an idol isn't about how many awards they have received, but about how many lonely nights of a fans they have healed. So I think it is really the best sentence that conclude what's so important of an idol, maybe not only BTS but the whole K-pop industry. And I think for me, the moment that really heals me from BTS is because I always lost the directions of life. So I think I'm actually quite lucky because I really don't have much up and downs, but I'm kind of always in that up. I don't really feel many depressed or something like that. But I think when I was in the high school, I started to feel very confused about what should be my future, which path I wanted to go through. And I didn't have any dreams at that time. So I think but normally we always think people should have dreams, or we should have plannings about what to do. But I remember like Sugar have said that it's fine that you don't have dreams, but you need to know what you like and you just keep doing what you like. And I think at that time, like it really heals me because I just think like, oh, that's right. So I just keep doing what I want and what I love, then it's already fine.
Yeah, I think their lyrics really like heal many people, and I think that Suga has also put a lyrics in his songs News, like when the artists they have struggles and they have sadness, but please just don't forget that maybe a fan just survive a day because of your smile. So I think that's what they did is so significant, so impactful. And to me, I like the Forever Young series the most. Like, I enjoy reading the comics. Like, there's a comic version of the whole story, like in the webtoon, and I think that's great. I highly recommend it. It explains the whole story. I think that one of the reasons for BTS success would be like their message. Like, for example, Love Yourself. They're really unique and really stands out because maybe like personally, I think that most of the K-pop song at that period were like, they just highlight some like romantic relationship between like men and females, but they seldom just focus on personal topics or mental issues. So like the Forever Young series, you can see that they try to portray a teenager stories. For example, like Suga, like his character, he went through depression. Like for V, like his character suffered from like violence, family abuse, like violence by his father, and you can see there are a lot of like problems or struggle faced by teenagers, and they really included them into the whole stories, and somehow like people or teenagers they can really connect to them because like for me I went through like sadness. Sometimes I feel pressure, I feel stressed about the future as well. Like for the exam, I don't know whether I can get a good score and enter university. But what if I didn't? So what's my path? So where can I go? So sometimes I just listen to the song on my way to school. And for example, like Life Goes On, I feel like if I didn't achieve any goals, that's fine, because at least I tried my best. I did my best already. So like what RM has said before, like just don't try to look at the past, because that's you just suffered twice. So all you can do is just protect yourself and just to, look forward to the future. And the future is gonna be okay. So yeah, I think they really encouraged me to, life goes on. Really encouraged me to look forward. Yeah.
It's a beautiful sentence that it's not about how many awards you win, it's about how many lonely nights you heal. I think that's a really interesting thing, and how one smile can help many people. With you two, we watched Ode to My Father, the Korean movie Gukjae Sijang in class, and in that movie, the protagonist, an old man, Doksu, he goes through all of these things in life for other people, and I'm suddenly seeing the BTS members sort of doing this, all as a form of sometimes of sacrifice or trying to help people and go through these things. And I think, I'll just say this very briefly, that in the modern world, there's not many. We've lost much of our narrative or our meaning. So in the past, it used to be professors would tell you what to do, or your parents would guide your life, or religion would give you instruction. But now professors and parents just sort of say, well, what do you want to do? And you have all of this freedom, and it's like, oh my God, like, how do I get through this if I'm 16 or 19 and hormonal? And if you have these messages and these like pieces of wisdom, and if they come through not from philosophers, but they come through a more softer approach and K-pop, I think it's cool if people get to them like that. I mean, it's obviously helpful. ARMY. Can we talk about ARMY? Like, I mean, I want to move on to that. This is a really interesting. Can you spot ARMY? Like, I never knew you were ARMY. Like,
Yeah.
Tell me about ARMY. Like, teach me something. Teach me some things I don't know. Let's speak about ARMY.
I think ARMY is just like a family.
Yeah.
Like everyone support each other, and we all support BTS. Like, it's really like a very big wall. Like, we are very tightly holding together. So like whenever what difficulties we overcome, like maybe BTS are being criticized or like armies are being criticized, we are still together to face all the difficulties.
Why is it called ARMY? Does anybody know? If you don't, it's okay, we can skip. Does it stand for something? Is it like, does it just mean ARMY? Is it like Association of RM Youth?
So BTS, in Korean, it's 방탄소년단, which is like kind of like a group of military, the vibe. So I think the fandom name became ARMY.
That makes perfect sense. Yeah. What's Aishwarya? What's the image of ARMY to you? What's ARMY to you?
I would say strong fan base from all around the world. Even though there is some different kind of fans, I would say. that maybe can, I don't know how to say, but limit the privacy of some idols, and like especially for BTS since they're really, really known. But I like ARMY. Like, I'm not that much of an ARMY anymore. Fine, I am still, but it's just I don't listen that much to K-pop songs. But when I was, it was so amazing. And the thing at that moment, like in 2016, in France, there was not that much K-pop fan, especially in my city. And when we said to people, I'm listening to K-pop, they didn't even know what it was. And when we explained, they were like, oh, Korean. And they were kind of being racist also. But with my best friend, we really tried to show the word, like the city, like BTS or EXO or any other groups. And we used to put a lot of songs during some classes where we can put songs, and I was showing to my teacher, this song, and I was really proud. Yeah. And even during exam season, I'm really, really, someone was stressed. And one of my teachers say, you can just listen to some music. I was listening to BTS every single time. And during my free time, I was learning their dance. I forgot, but I learned a lot of dance.
What was your favorite dance?
Oh my God, that's hard. I think I really love Blood, Sweat, Tears.
Okay.
The dance is amazing though. But dope, fire. Not today.
What does it feel like to be ARMY? When in 2016 or going through, what does it feel like to be part of that collective or to have that pride?
I mean, it felt really good and weird at the same time because people were criticizing us because we're not listening to French song or even like regular pop, I would say, and going for K-pop that was really not and they just don't understand like why would we really even like that. But we just like them, and that's all. And sometimes people just try to criticize, and now that is like they're really known, and K-pop is like a really big industry. They're like, everyone know that, and they say, you're just a K-pop fan. And before, it used to be so hard to say like I'm a proud K-pop fan.
So you were a K-pop fan, or you were ARMY when it was uncool to be ARMY. You went through the trenches.
Exactly. And I remember we couldn't talk to a lot of people that knew K-pop, so we were in like some application website to just talk to some other people, know facts, and it was really amazing the link we can create with people from like you don't know, just because we love BTS. Yeah.
Beautiful community. I think that's the nice aspect of it. Kit, can you say, do you have any opinions on the international aspect of it? Because here's ARMY in Korea, in France, in Hong Kong. Like, is there a difference between ARMYs in different places, or how was it for you? Or
I feel like for ARMY, I feel like there's no age gap. Like you can, like my mom is an ARMY as well.
I mean, you can be an ARMY if you want.
So I can discuss their songs,
yeah,
with my mom as well, and we always watch
lovely.
their YouTube videos together. Like even my father get annoyed.
Who's your mum's bias?
Jimin.
Hello, Kit's mum.
Oh my God, I wish like my mom was a fan of BTS. It would be so fun.
Yeah, and he always watched the fan cam of Jimin. Yeah, and I watched J-Hope fan cam. But I think that's interesting because we get closer because of BTS. Sometimes we will discuss their music, and sometimes she told me that like they have great personality, so maybe we can all learn from them. For example, they work really hard for their dreams. Yeah, I think that's true. I even saw some like older fans in Instagram, like they also like BTS. So it's not just about teenagers. So I think it's their personalities, their message behind really attracts people, not just by their appearance. I think. Yeah.
They're more than fan cams. But you're absolutely right. I've had people come and visit me about the podcast and articles, and they've been coming from Europe and places like this, and they're my age or just a bit older or just a bit younger. They're sort of in their 40s or 50s or 30s, and they're just as into BTS. So it's not just young people. I've seen them. They'll come in with like sugar key rings on their bags and things like this. It's like, oh, yeah. Celine, how about like Korean ARMY or international fans versus Korean fans? Is there a bit like, but we could speak Korean? How does that work? Is there such a thing, or is ARMY just ARMY?
I have some opinion about it. Like maybe you can.
You can go for it.
It's just I feel like there is a difference, and like in France, I mean, we used to feel like Korean had so much chance because you have to you can have so much concert and stuff, but also being so close to them. And
You're so close to them.
I'm living close to them.
There's so much people that go, like in the building or just talk there. And I feel exactly, and I feel like we were like, Korean fans are like this, and us we're not like this, even though it can happen, to be like this. But Yeah, maybe you're...
You guys are the weird stalkers.
I'm sorry.
So definitely there's a lot of kinds of fans.
Yeah.
I think that's not due to the country or the language. I think there's like a bright side and a dark side. Definitely that's a wrong thing. Like, people should not do that thing. It should not be called fans, I think. And I want to say that if you want to feel the fandom culture or the ARMY culture, the best way is to... You don't have to go to the concert, but if you go to the concert hall before the concert starts, every event happens there. So even though they don't have a ticket to go in, they will go there that day and enjoy all the like festivals, all the events. They will share everything about BTS. They're really like nice, warm. Yeah. So and they just dance together, sing together. So I think that's a really unique fandom culture.
It must be nice to experience it together, not just virtually, but also like in person. Sometimes people they get into football when they go and see their first match in the stadium or into baseball or something like that, and that experience stays with them. I guess it must do for these things as well.
Yeah, I think it's a really unique, like a bonding experience.
It must be, especially in a world of individualism and by yourself and things like that. To have that connection is a beautiful thing. Is there, like, do you have ARMY membership cards? Is there something that you have to do to be ARMY? Like when you say, I'm leaving now, I'm not going to stream. I'm trying to talk about the performance aspect of fandom. I know that's a big thing in K-pop, but what is it like for you, like in terms of performance or actions or buying the Happy Meal? Or
To be honest, I didn't really buy that much stuff like from BTS or any other groups because I was really young and my parents were like, why would I give you the money to buy this? But I would say just maybe if you like really into the songs and the group and you know well the members and the songs and you watch maybe like some TV show with them, you can like you're an ARMY definitely. It's not because you don't buy. I mean, in my opinion, it's not because you don't buy things or you buy things that you are or not. An ARMY.
Yeah, I think YouTube is pretty much like enough to like love them.
I think like there are always competition within a fandom. Like maybe someone would say, "Oh, I have bought their albums, I've go to their concerts, so you are not an ARMY because you didn't." But I think like everyone have their way to love or to support a group, so it's hard to say because you have did this, so you are an ARMY, and or like because you didn't do this one, so you are not an ARMY. I think like it's wrong to say like that.
Like it's just a family. We're open family. Everyone can get in if you know the members.
Lots of gatekeeping. Sometimes people like to put rules. Although I do see sometimes from some of my international students, particularly Chinese students, and that they talk about how much money they've spent since they've been here on K-pop merchandise and photo cards and things like that. It's kind of interesting.
I think if I was 15 and I was in Korea, for sure, I would spend a lot of money. But now I'm like, okay. I already have some stuff in France, so I don't put that much money.
That's good. It shouldn't be about money so much. I think it should be about the love and the affection, and we all have different money as well. Not everybody has lots of disposable income or parents that will give them money or things, right? Coming on to ARMY, there's some questions here that we've had from different people online, and some of these involve politics. So if you don't feel comfortable with these, we can kind of move on. But this is one from Alexia in Amsterdam, and Alexia in Amsterdam wanted to talk about, and she posted this for her 18-year-old daughter as well, that as BTS, and I'm reading the question, BTS is a money-making product of a for-profit government company or rules, and they have all these rules. But with today's artists and global diverse and young fan bases, do they have a responsibility to publicly express empathy about events that touch or affect humans? Examples would be LGBT discrimination in Korea, the 2022 Itaewon tragedy, or other current wars conflicts that are bound to affect people in their fan base. She is repeatedly disappointed by the silence of BTS members specifically. Because we've just spent a long time talking about how open these members are with their struggles of mental health, family violence, and things like this. ARMY seems quite political sometimes from my perspective. How do you feel about sort of the political obligations of a group this big to use their platform to speak on certain issues?
So I think if you're a Korean, I think you'll understand. But Korea is especially really sensitive about political and free speaking, so it's not really easy for K-pop idols to speak out about political issues. And definitely BTS has a really big influence, so if they speak out, that will have a huge impact. But personally, I don't want like BTS to be used in a political way, like the military issue or everything. Every time when they mention BTS to talk about political issues or the social news going on, I think it's not their like they can, but it's not. They don't have to. So
Okay.
like that's my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they don't have to, but it would be like great if they did. The thing is like in Korea we don't talk a lot about like some political problem, and maybe they're also afraid and like because if they say something bad or even sometime just say something like neutral and it can seem bad for some people, so you have to be really careful with your words. But I think now that they're really really popular, they can sometimes use their word to promote big messages.
I'll just add this one point of context for people that might not know that in the West, whereas you might know who Taylor Swift or Kanye West or Elon Musk is voting for, or Beyonce or Michelle Obama, they're quite vocal. But in Korea, you have no idea who any celebrity is voting for, to the extent that when they go and vote, they will avoid wearing red or blue to show any, even if they don't mean it, they'll dress in neutral colors. They'll avoid putting up one or two fingers afterwards, even, as a common sign, numbers, to avoid any kind of political statement. And that's not just BTS, but that's the whole culture is kind of based around that. So sometimes maybe people outside the country want BTS to be more like Western superstars. And it's understandable because they are global. But culturally in Korea, not really any celebrities do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we just have to accept that in some society they don't promote as much as other, especially like in Western culture, where we can talk easily about some stuff.
Yeah, and it's not good or bad, it's just different culture.
Yeah.
Politics, I mean, like, I want to ask you, should BTS be speaking about Hong Kong or something?
Oh.
Like, how do you have a view on BTS and politics and army, or?
I think like when they speak up, I really appreciate it is one of the point that makes me feel like more appreciate and more respect to them, because like sometimes I think like me, I seldom like aware of maybe too much global issues, but because like maybe BTS have voiced up some of the issues, so I will also pay attention to this. And I know it's hard to set a boundary about like what should they say or what shouldn't they say, but I just feel like, especially maybe like as mentioned here, the LGBT stuff, I think like if they speak out, then it really helped to boost the equality, and I think it's really very good. And like if they can speak up for like Hong Kong political stuff, I don't know like what is their stance, but I just feel like it will feel like it is some issue that the whole society also realized, or like at least they show some attention towards the global issues.
Yeah, but I think because they have huge influence, they really have to be careful on their speech, because people would just maybe judge them by just a word. Like I think it happened before, like Chinese, like they said something about the Korean War, and which make the Chinese fans feel like offended, because like RM has mentioned like Korean people have suffered in the Korean War, but he didn't mention about the Chinese people. So there are like huge, they face criticism, and that's a lot of fans just criticize him. But I think that maybe they're being too like sensitive. I think maybe because like he's speaking from like a Korea perspective. So I think that's acceptable. I think it's not that serious. I think, but I think that they did include some like social issues in their songs, like for the sinking of the Seoul, like the ship, like the incident.
Spring Day, they did.
Yeah, they did included that. So I think that maybe it's good to like include some like big messages like freedoms, like we don't need permission to dance, something like that. But I think if they really need to include some political issues, they really have to be careful. I think.
I think just like how you say, I think they can express what they want, but it is not they have to express. Like if they wanted to express something, then it's their freedom, and I don't think like people should have too much judgment on that.
Yeah. To slightly defend them, guys, they're still they're
It's good that you have to.
they're still Korean. Yeah. They don't work in an embassy, so they can be like that. And I think that they have their own way to express their ideas or issues. For example, like the songs. They talk about like some issues in the songs, and also I really like the way that Jungkook talked about the new jeans in his Instagram. Like it would not be like international like political issue, but all the small things going on, they will like speak up and cheer for another idols. And I think that they have their own way about saying that.
But like if they speak about something political, would it be seen bad, like Korean by Korean side, or no? Like they can say everything they want.
I mean, if they speak some statement about like really sensitive thing, it will be in the first page of the news maybe. But like if there's a lot of people who's They will if there's some issue, and there's always a positive side and negative side. So if I'm a person who agrees, they will like say that, yeah, you're talking right. But if they don't agree, they will like criticize them. So there's always like up and downs, I think.
I'll try to add to that. I think you say some very good things, Celine, that most issues are political, such as Ukraine, Russia, Israel, Palestine, LGBT, abortion. I mean, these are real life experiences for some people. We got a message on the Insta from somebody from Palestine, by the way, that we should address. But all of these issues are political, and they're very difficult and complicated. And it's really not easy to have a deep opinion on these things. Right?
Yeah.
I'm an academic. I know how hard it is. And what I think we have the worry of, if they say something, whether they do or not, but it will be picked up by the media. And if they say something about this issue, the right-wing or the left-wing newspapers will run with that and kind of use them almost as tools, and they will become pawns in a political game that they didn't really intend to. And they won't be allowed to make mistakes. They won't be able to have nuance or something. It will just get taken out of context and blast all over either the Chosunilbo or the Hangul, according to whichever political side it is. So I can understand the Korean way of doing things here, which is a little bit different. I just mentioned Palestine. We got a question on Korea Deconstructed on the Insta when I put it up, and this comes from Moon, who's in Palestine, researching, doing her PhD there. She asked, how can BTS play a role in minimizing the toxic fandom K-pop industry? So this is less about global politics, I think. This is more looking inwards. And we've just had New Jeans members in the National Assembly speaking up about their treatment, and they're trying to change the systems. So it's not about trying to change the world, but changing the environment in which they work. Do you have any thoughts on BTS's role in changing K-pop, changing fandom?
They definitely have a huge impact in the K-pop industry. So their statement will be really powerful. So I think that that will be really helpful. For example, like New Jeans issue. Yeah, I think them speaking out is really helpful, I think.
I think like to the fandom, they also did very great to set a boundary. Like the boundary isn't about like we'll feel very distant from them, but I just feel like they inform us about what a fan should be. Like if someone disturbed them, they would definitely speak out. And I think like it just like tells us what a fan should be. But the distance isn't about like we feel very distant from them, but just we are doing the correct way. Yeah.
Feels hard to put pressure on them to change the industry. I mean, it's like they're doing their best. They're doing the music, and they have the weight of the world on their shoulders, but also the weight of the industry as well. That's a really kind of hard thing. Maybe before we bring this towards a close, is there anything we've missed about BTS? Is there anything that like people don't understand, people get wrong, or it's like, what you need to understand about BTS is this, or what most people get wrong is this, or something you really want to say? Is there something about BTS that we need to say before we bring this up?
That they have like a really big impact, and like people think that it's just songs or like music, but when you really get into the group and you're becoming a fan, you understand that it's more than song, and they can really help a lot of people all around the world.
I'm thinking like even you're not into them, but I think some of their words are still worth to know.
I've learned some nice words today from it. Yeah. I agree with you. Yeah, well done.
I have a lot of friends who are studying abroad, and they will always tell me that BTS like made their life really easy. Like so they're really thankful to BTS for everything. I think like living in abroad is a hard thing, but they made a lot of a lot of change. So I also felt that when I was in US. So I wanted to say thank you.
That's really nice, I think. And my sister-in-law, she says the same thing, that she doesn't really know much about BTS. She's in her 40s, late 40s, but she feels so much pride in what they do. And like making Korea known abroad and the success that they bring, and the people now look at Korea and they think, wow, Korea, that's cool. Right? They exist as Depios. I think that's a really cool thing. Kit, any thoughts on this?
I want to thank them as well. They're really my savior, because because of them I can went through those hardships and to really start to learn how to love myself. And I want to add on that like still nowadays there are so many people like criticize them for putting makeup on stage to perform. If somebody doesn't like it, but I think that's one of the part of the art expression, like what RM has said, like fashion can be passion. So I think that you really need to take a closer look to them, like maybe watch the documentaries, listen to their solos so you can know more about them. And yeah.
Fashion can be passion, health is wealth. I love this. This is really good stuff.
Yeah.
I loved what we've done because I think it's been real. Can we maybe end with some recommendations? It doesn't have to be specifically BTS. I mean, because these guys also recommend books and songs and all other stuff and art. So it can be BTS or it can be like a book, a movie, a webtoon, an album, a drama. Give us something like cool that you like that you wish other people also liked. I know it's hard because I'm putting you on the spot, but it's like, Anis, can I start with you?
For songs, I think definitely Tomorrow, my favorite song. And if like you really wanted to get to know their personalities, I think no doubt Run BTS, the program. Like every episode will make you laugh. And yeah, and I think like their stages, because like if you hear the MR Remove version, they really sing very hard. So I think it's really worth to see their stages. Yeah.
What's the one YouTube video that you go to sometimes? You're like, I'm going to watch this performance. Is there
Butterfly.
Okay.
Yeah, there is.
Oh my
this
god,
stage
I love
where
that.
Jungkook is white shirt and V is red shirt, and I think that one is the best.
I was about to say Butterfly because I was listening to it on my way. It was like, that's such a nice song, and it reminded me so much like memories when I was like in high school and middle school.
And I think I Need You is the classical one.
Yeah.
Aishwarya, any other recommendations, book songs, BTS or otherwise?
Dope.
Dope.
Dope from BTS. Like, the song I tell everyone, Dope or Fire.
I'm still trying to remember that Sugar song that I was thinking of earlier. It's not called Fire, but it had lots of fire coming up in the music videos, and it was black and dark, and it looked very rock and roll, ignition or fuel.
Oh, like Tizzard maybe?
Oh,
Yeah. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
But,
Yeah.
no, like Dope. I want you
You
to
like
go to
Dope?
Dope, okay?
Yeah.
Or maybe like Spring Day, because I wanted to go on the, the spot of Spring Day, but I think it's kind of far from here.
The ocean view thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to go so bad.
Is that the beach?
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
The bus
Like
stop.
Yang Yang.
But, like,
yeah,
I
I've
really-
been there.
You've been
Of
there.
course, it's not
Because
that-
I want to go there, but it's kind of far. I
Uh,
want to do so much thing here.
It's about, if you get the bus at the right time, it'll be about an hour and 40 minutes, 2 hours. Not that far, right?
Just the one bus?
But if I'm not sure,
No,
but if
yeah.
you get the wrong bus, it would be 4 hours, 5
I
hours.
Okay.
remember there is the KTX. Then
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can just go for one.
How what's your thoughts on DNA? I always like DNA, but no one said DNA. Is that a bad
I
song?
like DNA.
I like
It's
DNA.
cool, but
But
colorful.
It's not dope.
No.
That DNA really reminds me of my high school.
Okay.
So that was the time that I loved them. So I really like the song. I remember the exact moment that I saw the music video. I was like screaming. Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Like DNA is really good, and
Yeah.
when like I was waiting for it to be released, and they were putting like the teaser,
Mm.
I listened to a mix that I still listen to of DNA, like just the beginning they give with Serendipity of of Jimin, and I love the song, but I can't find it, but I downloaded it when I was younger.
Yeah, I
But
just
it's
love,
illegal, so don't do that.
yeah, I just love the whistle sound. Yeah.
I love the guitar sound. Like when I heard that, I was like, that's pretty cool. And I went and learned it on guitar. I learned that, and I learned Boy With Love on piano. So I like the music of some of the songs. Celine, recommendations, books, movies, webtoons.
I'll say the live video of Young Forever, the one that they performed in, I think it was UK.
Okay,
So it was the really big stadium.
Wembley.
Maybe Wembley, yeah. They were fan chatting all together, and the members cried, and it was a beautiful moment. So definitely that video.
They sold out Wembley twice, I think, something like
Yeah,
that.
it
I
was
think it
amazing.
really shows their popularity. Yeah.
For me, I recommend two stages. Like the one I forgot the years, like the MMA for the performance of Idol, the song. And then I think it's really cool because they combine it with like Korean traditional music and performance, which like beside love yourself, they want to spread the message of love yourself as your nationality, as a Korean as well. So I think that's cool. And the smooth transition between their dance, their solo dance is amazing. So another stage is from the Tonight Show, the Jimmy Fallon one. And I think it's On, the song. And they performed the Great Central Terminal. I think that's a powerful dance performance as well. And if you really want to know about the Forever Young, the series, you may also check out the comics in the webtoon. It's also named as Forever Young, so you can get a whole picture of the stories. And I think that you can understand why they, why the message is love yourself if you just finish the comics, I think. So yeah.
Can I add one more thing?
Yeah.
I think the Young Forever concert, like the DVD, everyone should check it out.
How much BTS stuff do you have, Anis?
Uncountable.
I'm slowly realizing that. Yeah, it's wonderful. I love the passion of it. I love the depth. I love the maturity of it. How do we say good? Is there like a BTS goodbye thing that they say or that they do, or No. I'm asking a stupid question.
I mean, when they say hello, yeah, but like goodbye, I'm not sure.
How do they say, what's the hello thing?
Oh, it's in Korean.
Yeah.
Can you do it for us
Can
today?
you do it in Korean? I want to hear the Korean. Yeah.
Yeah. Do it.
It's like 둘셋 means like 2, 3 and like 둘셋 방탄.
방탄.
Yeah. And then 안녕하세요 방탄소년단입니다.
How about if I say do set and then you do your part?
We can say the rest of it.
Yeah. You can just mouth. No, really.
yeah.
Ready? Do set.
방탄 안녕하세요.
Thanks very much, guys. Bye bye.